Hello, welcome back to my play of Final Fantasy XIV online. We are now progressing through the patches of A Realm Reborn and will continue figuring out the Iceheart issue, and I'm still waiting to help the students of Baldesion figure all that out. But for now we are in Kothas and on the trails of Iceheart, trying to stop them from summoning SHIVA. Do we think that'll happen? They've always summoned the ones they've looked for before. So let's see what Drillman says. Time is of the essence, Stabo. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unaware. Oh yeah, they know the shift schedules. Superior training and equipment will avail them naught if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn. But all is not lost yet. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Aymeric everything we have discovered. Sir Aymeric is there as well? We can't lose a Templar Knight or whatever is. Or whatever he is. Alphadon, sir. Stabo, you're a welcome surprise. Perhaps only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Leveilleur been informed? The braves must be made aware. I'm sort of expecting a fight at any point, so I'm gonna just be ready with my picks. Can't we even find the entrance to them? It's up here. It must be here, I'm certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity the discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it. This is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this summoning. There she is! Come here, girl. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Leveilleur. There has been development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrance to some half-dozen tunnels. After spotting the enemy breaking the surface, but that's not all, sir. We think one of them may be important. Certainly, the heretics now flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha, just as I suspected. Among this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Elfano. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we enter the tunnels? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more hindrance than help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Elmeric and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown. To see that you are prepared for anything, I will suggest you call upon your allies. Though not too many, or Papa will sulk. Dungeon? Is it dungeon? Starting off with dungeon? The entrance to the tunnel, madam, is just over there. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Almeric's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our posts. Oh yeah. Dungeon! I can do NPCs again! Oh, this is gonna take forever! I'll have to do it right now, because if I pass, it's over. Oh, is this Fenrir? Oh, okay. Go get him. Okay, Ifrit, say. Am I correctly positioned behind? I hope so. Titan smash. I moved. Oh. Didn't move fast enough because I should have known you move out. Garuda saw. Blast. Still didn't move out fast enough. Oh, that's so annoying. I'm gonna limit now, because why not? Sky Shard. Oh, cool. I'm so confused. I'm so confused, but that's okay. Go behind the same that say go behind. I did not know why Moenbryda this didn't. Is it one that says and we should know somehow? Oh, yeah. Here we go! Okay, but I think they go up. See what happens next. Cone. Oh, there was an Auber on some of them. Okay. That is very little time to react to see that. Ooh. And that's why we stay close to the middle until he does that. Okay. Titan smash. Garuda, so okay, follow them. I'm assuming it's this one then. Is that something I need to pay attention to? Garuda blast. Tim learning. I'm not great in this, I don't know what it is. Bye-bye, Henry. No Iceheart and no SHIVA though. But that looks like something familiar. Monsters, but few heretics. Yeah.
Then tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
Don't believe you. Don't do it. Can I just slash her down before she summons it? Why do we stand idly by every time we're close? We're not close always, that's fine. But now? Oi! Okay, okay. That took longer than I expected. What news, Stabo? So Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the channels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for the fight against the heretics? The Crystal Brace would certainly share the credit too. 12 be praised double. We may turn this situation to our advantage. Assuming we can stop Isa before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Menfilia and Orange has been busy pursuing archives of House Fortems, gathering what information they can about on Shiva. Which reminds me, you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report the day's events, don't. The Antecedent should be here in a minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. For the greater good, yeah. Oh, she got a coat at least. Give one to Alphinaud. Antecedent, you came straight up from the archives of House Fortems. I trust your time there proved fruitful? Would that it had. Oriange and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with the dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of the Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, a blessed union of man and dragon. How such things could be even possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find useful answers in the archives of House Fortems. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if by circumstance or design. You said that Isa took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I do not care if you stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that the tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, it was not by the will of Helone that your ancestors came to this land. Why they took up arms? Against the Dravinians. What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that questioning devotion is required of all who would live a life of service to the Fury. Such righteous thieves may well serve knight in the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era. The scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more? That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiation table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure that has been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mogulmog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of Mogul's god. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretic? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their belief. Is that not placing one's faith in a higher power? Then what is? Crystals and conviction, Mephilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded the preliminary analysis of the Aetheryte Iceheart used to escape. They believe she teleported to another Aetheryte somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second Aetheryte, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternative route. Most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Sharlayan may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Moenbryda looks into our Aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretics force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Kothas is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for the leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of them who look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good, I knew you would understand. Yuhase can appraise you of the details. When the task is complete, come find me at the observatorium. Captain Illibrad and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in this investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. There you are, Stabo. Commander Leveilleur instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the third haul from Uldar, and a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand. Nearly a moment ago, I received the word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danethan Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you could join them. I myself will be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. I never would assume you didn't. Tick, 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 tick. Yum. Oh, something happened. Ah, Thal's be my ankle is on fire. Caught my book on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went up ahead through Danethan Pass. Hurry, I might catch up. If you're unsure where to look for tracks. The snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be too hard to find. Snow is a prickly friend, eh? But I do not like that he's like alone. Very easy for heretics. Bush Prince. The track leads southeast. Why are they splitting up? This is so dangerous. Lion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great skilled beast and... Yugose? I think he went down on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. Oh, this sounds like a trap, if I ever heard of one. Embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching their past man's knapsack for anything of interest. And lo and behold, before his friend found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be waiting. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place. So we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Okie dokie. Why are they teasing me with SHIVA for so long before I get to meet her? Oh. Keeping the illusion that she will not be summoned. As if we believe that. I am through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those blue coats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Yeah, well, stay here then, if you think you'll fare any better. No, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where the blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I have done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will, I shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the arts of interrogation. Darn it all. Fancy meeting you, Herr Stavo, and I presume your work with the third brought you hither? What a tangled web, least you wonder. We came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. The beggar's belief, I know, but it seems a favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Greater good, you said? Well, were it not for the efforts of Lady Ugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Ulfenon is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from recurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of our skills. Skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. That is a most generous offer, Lady Agiri, and one I will gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and we shall always be watching. A comforting thought, Constable. Let us wait inside for Captain Ilbred to return and deliver his report. Get a coat, Elfinor. Come on. Complaining is all your fault at this point. Captain Ilbred seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed, so we should have new information along. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Tendrils of intrigue. Captain Ilbred, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of SHIVA. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have the Ascian channels which we have ascertained the channels by which the heretics acquire the information of the shipment's routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being with the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each tracking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspects of conspiracy. There were 5 on the list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which we would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortemps. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to pricing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. A relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In the desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to a higher-ranking member of the Immortal Flames. Bugger. If you consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspect is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Roban's innermost circle? Someone who has been with since the Immortal Flames' establishment? 'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for his act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion for all these years. Or is he possessed by an Ascian? I'm just wondering. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. One of the 3 grand companies, although was ever most vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa and Gridania has long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Uldar's military was made up of dispatched orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment of which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Roban faced when funding the Immortal Flames are well known, even if they had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost. There remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its funding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests in public and the privates. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's funding, it was not out of charity they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nael Vendana's ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Roban with an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. We'll continue our investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in spectral crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If SHIVA is summoned in like manner of the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send one to Sir Emric, informing him of our success in identifying heretics abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardian. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leaders ship has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. Bugger. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Stavo. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Okay? Okay. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude a business with Iceheart. Yes. But until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Okay. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no efforts in securing an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania, in readiness for the council coming. Meet me at Norficius' altar and we shall make our way to the Lotus Strand together. I remember where that is now. And with that for now. My thanks for coming, Stabo. When you're ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Strand. Yonder. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Strand. Will you be joining them now? Yes. Yes, I will.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
Don't.
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign.
Have I heard of?
Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
What a son.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
It was the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
And this is...
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader, not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Does not seem like a good fella.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Will we even get through to that?
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Yeah, no. Can we get further before they become an issue? It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but the unity means little unless to the common folk. Take the Domans, for instance. Though Admiral Merleweb outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swallowing, wooden-legged cutthroats. In the likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldar scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Teleji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact that people are wary of outsider, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb the appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter. The Ivy. Not SHIVA yet? Since he spoke at the observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened the list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deemed as the most candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt near is Zanstabo, and all that remains is the corner, our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest, he will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kothas, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Okie dokie. Adder's Nest, that is an Aetheryte away, because it's not in this zone. Yeah, but not in. I like the distinguishing. You know what I meant. Thanks for coming, Cyan. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. We have? Wasn't it still a short list? From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Oh, pretty. I wholeheartedly do not need this. Rogue monk. Oh, Ninja can use it. Chasing Ivy. Listen well. The spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than the Flame Marshal Eileen Roaliella. Not her! Roban's second in command. No, not her. I liked her. I wasn't even sus on her. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with the Polum had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, bearing the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Ruban chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The monitorists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret that they did not favour foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the alliance. Yet the monitorists did not raise too much murmur of protest when Royale was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy had some hold over the monitorists? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Royale's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Reuben attended the Council of Alliance leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. This woman has no business being Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless. On some pretense, she's up to something. Mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames' records for evidence of Royale's guilt. But if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks. Every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion? You have my thank. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry. La-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da, I'm just walking, I'm not being weird. Royale is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion. La-di-da-di-da. Just walking, not being suspicious. So Royale has entered the Sharlayan canopy. Meeting someone, perchance? Or could it be she meant to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Fiem is her name. I shall remain here in case Royale reappears. La-di-da-di-da. Just going down to the airship, because you know I want to fly. Stabo, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? Social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger. None bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. I like it. I like the covertness. So she's in a room. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you're sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back out either. Where in the seven could she have gone? The Roost. How could I forget? I don't know what a Roost is, but I thought this was an inn. So there are rooms, but whatever. Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Muntai tonic? A couple a day imbues the man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You are a shinobi of Doma? The woman you seek has left Gridania by the way of West Shop here. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Nice. Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talent, Royale would have disappeared without a trace. So nice. Oh, that was awful. What the crap is that? Oh, that's horrid. Oh my. No thanks. In flagranted. Our hunt leads to the East Shroud sign. I suggest to follow Royale's example and take the ferry to West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations, so see to them while I go ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. What preparation do you want me to do? I'm just gonna go. Where is Sweet Bloom Pier? Is it in... Is it in East Shroud? Okay. This just feels faster because then I can mount. In the East Shroud, what's she doing there? She's not messing up with Biscarian, because he we trust. I will have none of that. Is he even in East Shroud? Oh. No. He's in South. Whatever. Don't say there's another wood whaler. This way, my friend. My friends. This way, my friends. Ooh, Yukiri. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorn Hut. If Royale is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friend at Garlemald Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In doing so, we've made it difficult for Imperial agents corresponding with their masters. Royale would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. 'Tis for the reason I believe she has chosen the Black Shroud for her chandering. Clandestine. Chandering? We need to make that a word, though. Clandestine meetings. The Elezen are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell me, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorn Hut and catch Royale in the act. Back to Hawthorn Hut. Ish. At least right outside. My people report that a quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to Knoll whence she came, but perhaps it's all for the better. To convict someone of her standing will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean master? My countrymen and I shall lay in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. The Bramble Patch, you say? Well, there are like Empire people around Sylphlands and Lake Charles, whatever it's called. Just beyond, Royale is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. And Imperial intermediately, no doubt. This is it. With me. Okay. Not lying in wait trying to scope out what you're talking about. Flame Marshal Aline Royale, you are under the arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool. Damnation. Oh, so cool. I know you have your spare, but we are many. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the 12th wood? When last I looked, there was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then. Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, where I shall make you wish you had. Doesn't seem you have any choice, my lady. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Domans are cool. The adventurer, though. Yeah, okay. Good. Me and your geary got him. Yeah, we do. Oh, tree. Even a warrior of Royale's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, a surrender does not beseech innocence, but an awareness of a position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap the people of Uldar will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Stavo? The Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stone. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talent here. And speaking of talent, you have been training in the arts of the shinobi, have you not? The change in your bearing is quite evident. To me, at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. Till next time, my friend. Minfilia! Wasn't she in Kothas, though? Has she left? That wasn't a long visit. Come on, Iceheart, Baldessian. I'm expecting the Empire to always be a plague. It just took down what's here, but... Welcome back, Stavo. I understand that Ulfinod had a task for you. May I ask what it was? If you don't know by him, this is so weird, the communication between these two now. Charges of treason and espionage against Aline Royale? I can scarce believe it. Could that not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Yes! Yes! As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctum of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon SHIVA using the crystals she stole from the House for Thames caravan. The heretic believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. But if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Ethernet and therefore follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetheryte to which she teleported. A prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetheryte upon arrival. A reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Uriange, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why we've called upon the aid of someone who does possess such expertise. A Cull of Agaus, who is currently en route to Revenant's Hall from Sharlayan. Sharlayan? She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you're here, Mayhap, we could welcome her together. I'm certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let's make our way to the northern gates and wait her coming. Northern? To the north of Modona. So Slanosea is south, upper, and Modona. Where is it? I don't know anymore. I have not studied the map of Eorzea too well, apparently. Kothas is to the south. No, north. Pennalan. Huh. I was way off, but that's okay.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Uriange.
Moenbryda is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar and an authority on Aetheryte technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Might kind. Let's return to the Rising Stones at once. We have much to discuss. Moenbryda. I feel like I've heard that name. Probably from Uriange.
it's been ages.
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Wonk.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moenbryda join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherytes. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Aww.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
Uphand me, apparently.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me.
Fair.
I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetheryte?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetheryte not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate a second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetheryte to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint SHIVA.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetheryte's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetheryte, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetheryte.
Okay, if I say so. Not sure I believe myself, but if I say so.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetheryte is destroyed. But If even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
That was a lot.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetheryte. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risk the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moenbryda's plan.
Dangerous
That's the
games.
spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Still sounds less dangerous than encountering SHIVA, so, you know. But somehow I think we'll just need to do both. I have already informed Alphinaud of a plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moenbryda describes. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wishes to meet you at Snowcloak before you proceed. I expect you'll find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done on our behalf, Thabo, and that I have faith you will return to us, as you always have. Of course you do. I'm greatness incarnate, after all. So, we will recreate the Aetheryte through flowing ether. And then port in, see that SHIVA has been remade a battle. Do we think it'll be that easy? Or will many things happen in between? Good to see you, Stavo. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Certain Captain Illibred sent his regards, by the way. He attends the interrogation of Lyn Royale in Ul'dah, even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from this matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte. After you, Scion. Can I do that? Apparently not. There, it's ready. Ah, it worked, I think. Try tuning for the Aetheryte now. I feel the current. Feel for the current and try and locate the beacon. We have done all we can, Stabo. For now, let us withdraw. Am I not feeling for the beacon? When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. By the grace of the 12, you arrive safely and must stop Iceheart before she summons SHIVA. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if she succeeds, we will have little choice but to face SHIVA in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, and so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives for the success of Moenbryda's experiment, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message from you, from Sir Aymeric. He's not here anymore. Where did he go? Madam, Sir Aymeric regrets he could not be here in person, and asked me to read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Stabolina Nebheim, warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you chose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gift for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Helon bless you with good fortune, and see you safely home. And now we're going to enter this place and stop SHIVA from being summoned. Definitely. And here we sign. And I am summoner, yes. And then I will just pop it back in when it pops. Here we go. Yes, we go. Here we go.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down.
Rude.
We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint SHIVA, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Did I read that right? Did she turn into SHIVA? Or did her... What? I need an explanation of this. Is she still in a crystal that blew away and summoned SHIVA, or is she SHIVA? What? What? Pretty though. is so much faster than... Oh. That happened fast. I don't know if I did the right thing. Ifrit, Oi. Wait till the tank picks them up, Sabo. Oh, I saved Garuda for this. That's perfect. That's actually great. Need to look for the circles faster because that happens so... Things happen much more quickly now than it did before. It's a bit scary. I'm worried. Okay, I tried to rest someone and I messed up everything. I don't know if I rested them or someone else did. I did that. Things happen so fast. It was her! What? How? She took... What? That was so peculiar. Whoa. So she... was, but then she got spread like the Aetheryte, like the primals. Whoa, we need to discuss how this happened.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence.
Some are too great, yes they are.
Mine is the righteous cause.
Don't know enough about it to know that.
You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers.
I do believe that.
And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift.
What? What does this mean? What does this mean? My brain just died. What? Please? Who are you?
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
Explain many things to me now, please. By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? Iceheart did what? And you're certain about that, are you? Divinians are skilled with glamours after all. Frick. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Had trauma? Has been on to cause hallucinations, you see? No? No. Fair enough, I was just asking. Fair questions. I am not sure myself right now. If you ask me, there is naught to be gained from mulling over implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stone, say. I'll get everyone to meet us there. But before that, you had best pay a visit to Whitbrimfront and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That or is busy playing politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blood vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. I like Moenbryda. She's as baffled as me. This does not make sense. I do not believe it. I do believe you, but are there second causes for your vision? I feel her so. Oh. I mean, she didn't have quite the same voice as the Mother Crystal when it spoke to me, but it was so similar. And the Mother Crystal hasn't spoken since Ultima. I am so confused. I need the council to tell me what this means. I'm just a fighter, you know. Not a bookland. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there any doubt of that Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for us all when I say I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tales of your victory, if you would be so kind. I'll do my best, but I'm confused. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration. And for one which we have Stabalina to thank. Yes, you are right, of course. Sir Emmerich, we should be content with that. What we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. SHIVA is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there's a matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it take days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Garlemald, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Finally! Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies heretic stole from the House Four Thames caravan? List the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Oh, and on an unrelated note, Sabo, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen nights to restrain him, I'm told. Is it horse fat? Men give vent for their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. Why would I think less of him? I was worried. Like, I want to help. I want to help. Respect it a lot, actually. If so, it's fun. I'm going to be so crushed. And not crushed as in crushed, but so crushed as in crushing. Hi. What were you thinking, Stabo? Wagering your very being a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon SHIVA. Anyway, for then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat by their fury, Stabo. This is the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. Oh, fans, I like you too. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emeric wished to have words with you and Master Alphinaud in private. He awaits us in that room, in the meeting room. That's what it is. Greetings, madam. I will show you in at once.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Oh?
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
As far as it's possible?
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emeric, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgardsormr could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Didn't they
Choose your next
say
words
that?
carefully.
I thought they already said that. In
Do you
different.
know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
Mm-hmm.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them.
Good words.
I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second in command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you.
Thank you.
Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind.
Oh, sure. Horse fans.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
Let's just start one more. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's methods of summoning SHIVA defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to the very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzea campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves combined with the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Stabo, it's better we continue this conversation in Modona. And that conversation in Modona, where hopefully I can understand something, will be in the next episode. So yeah, please comment if you have anything to say. Like and subscribe will help me out. And yeah, we shall continue in the Rising Stone next. Thanks for watching, and Stabo out.